Welcome to the hottest real estate topics on the planet, keeping you up to date with all the creative ways to buy and sell real estate without bank qualifying, so anyone can build real income starting today. Here is another great show with Dealmaker Bill and Pete the Rookie.
All right, here we are, another episode, Flipping Houses for Rookies.
Good morning, boys and girls.
And we have the main rookie on the line here, ready to do it to it.
Not anymore. Look at my name title.
Oh,
Look at the screen. I'm just my name.
I know it's been that way for 3 weeks. I noticed.
Yeah, I've advanced from rookie to like neutral.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's a step up from rookie to
question is where's this advancement done? Is it done inside your head or in the real world?
Oh, both. Because
okay,
I just said so. So now it's real. They said
official.
So. End of story.
Episode number 289 as we're moving on. And the title is Why Such a Small Percentage of Creative Real Estate Rookies Truly Experience Gargantuan Profit Deals. Why they really don't. That's what it should be.
Why they don't.
Yeah. Here's the description. Seems as though there is some rumor floating around in the creative real estate industry that cash flow and guaranteed profitable transactions are hard to do or hard to find in the current economy. In a perfect world where most of us dream to be, you would do the right things and our sellers and buyers would be willing to do the creative real estate deal with us and even be nice about it while figuring out the whole dream of finding the golden geese that lay golden eggs, which produce money now, money monthly, and money later would be only fair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you are surrounded. Oh, I skipped a bunch of sentences there.
Go back.
Only fair. We drink the Kool-Aid on this lifestyle. Then the nightmares or flawed sellers fighting to get all cash, just thinking about them and not you, settles in. Now you're surrounded by this dream of getting cash flow and profitable deals on one side, and these unreasonable seller asks on the other side, leaving you to believe that there is to be some reality in the middle, but you aren't sure. Fortunately, today we're going to show you how this was actually a solution for this discovered in 1937. And how you could use this information to find your golden geese and flourish and prosper. Huh.
Bill, I like when you say golden geese.
Yeah.
Not just one goose.
Yeah, exactly.
More gooses. 1937, huh?
1937.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything, but I think I know where we might be headed in 1937. I'm not going to say anything. 1937, that wonderful year.
Okay, so I want to read the title again because I think I got it wrong. So, why such a small percentage of creative real estate rookies truly experience guaranteed profitable deals? So, why don't
it's a small percentage that do?
Yeah.
Well, is that true with anything? I mean, you can go all the way back to anything I knew as a kid: Amway, Herbalife. All the living on, all the things that. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you be a rock star? Why don't you write a book? Why don't you be? Oh, wait a minute. Why don't you be a movie star? There's money there. Why don't you just go on American Idol? That's easy. Yeah, my son went there. There was 3,000 people in front of him after he got off the train. Like, okay, time to go home. But so isn't that true in everything? No, I mean, what I like about real estate is you don't have to win something.
Yeah.
What I like about music is you don't have to be the winner or the loser. Some people like you, some don't. You sell some stuff, you make some money, you go home. It's not like you won the game, you lost the game. So, I mean, there's lots of houses, there's lots of people. They sell every day. So don't we all have a chance, boys and girls? Don't we all?
Peter
That's all I'm gonna-
philosophy.
That's all I'm going to say today.
Spoken from the non-rookie.
Yeah, but we don't know what I am. It's just like
Yeah.
I have no identity.
Believe me, I've known you for 25 or 30 years, and I still don't know what you are. So,
Hey, I'm still trying to figure that out. But go
All right.
ahead with the podcast.
Thank
Talk
you.
to me. Talk to me.
So, just doing the housekeeping type stuff. Today, I put a link in the description worth $500.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So go check it out. Wherever you're watching us or listening to us, there is a link in the description that you can go get it. Also, please make sure you subscribe to wherever you're watching us or listening to us. Also, make sure you leave us a review. Reviews are good, especially when you leave them site on the testimonial page at flippinghousesforrookies.com/testimonials, or just go to the front page. There's a link on the top right-hand side. Also, if you have any questions about anything we're talking about today or anywhere else, just send me a support ticket. We also have a WhatsApp group that if you go on the front page, you can get onto it, flippinghousesforrookies.com. It's a group chat with a bunch of like-minded real estate investors. It doesn't cost you anything to be there. It's just a general chat for all of you to talk to one another as well as me. Lastly, we record this podcast every Thursday morning. When we do, we live stream it on Facebook and YouTube, and you can be part of that conversation if you go to either Facebook or YouTube when we're recording, and we do that in the vicinity of about 9:30 a.m. on Thursday mornings, Eastern Standard Time. And we don't always get a lot of people because it is an odd time for us to record. A lot of people are working and stuff like that, but if you want to do it, you can. Woo! That's done. Here we go. You ready, Peter?
Ready.
Do you ever wonder why such a small percentage of people truly experience their own success the way they want? I do.
Mm.
I mean, there probably isn't a single person listening right now that doesn't know of someone who is truly gifted in one way or another. They just have a talent, right?
Yeah.
But never really actualize it. They never really actualize their talents. So they can be at their full potential.
Yeah.
Inversely, meaning the opposite, there are numerous stories around in life of people who start with very little and achieve much more than anyone else has ever expected. I remember one time I was at a marketing event, and they brought some guy up on stage, and he was making like $100,000 a month. This is probably 20 years ago, making like $80,000 or $100,000 a month. I think it was a dentist, and he was doing was selling one newsletter to other dentists that I guess you could call it. They didn't have this language back then, but you could call it like white label. So basically, he wrote the newsletter, and you injected your name and your personal information, and then you would mail it out to your
clients.
Yeah, your clients. Well, it doesn't even have to be clients, but to your mailing list or whatever you have. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he would send it to the dentist. Well, that's clever. No, you make something like that for your business, but instead of just having it in your business, you sell it to everybody else who use it in their business and put their name on it. I think I get those from my dentist. These little newsletters. Yeah. And you figure he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't have time. He has no time to do this. So the guy does that, and they pay him for it.
Yeah, they pay him for it, and he has his front office person like inject, like their office information or whatever. But here's my point. I mean, no disrespect to the guy. I don't remember his name. I don't even remember what he looks like, to be honest with you. But I just remember it happening. I'm thinking to myself, huh? That doesn't take a college PhD. That doesn't take a degree. That's just plain old balls.
Yeah.
Ingenuity and balls. You know what I mean? Like this guy's he's got them.
No one else is doing it, but when no one else is doing it, no one else is thinking about it.
Right.
And you come up with this crazy idea, like maybe it work, maybe it don't. But if it does, oh boy. Yeah.
Well, it's a good way for a profession to outflow. They know this stuff, but they're not going to sit down and to be a professional writer is not what everybody thinks. It's not going off into the woods and sitting in a cabin and smoking a cigar and sipping whiskey and overlooking the mountain, the picturesque lake or something like that, and all of a sudden it just comes to you. I've had a lot of people tell me, because I obviously write a lot, and it took me years and years, and I still don't think I'm that good. It took me years and years and years and years. But, like, how do you take something that you could say in like 5 sentences and turn it into a chapter?
Yeah.
And not be just verbose, not be just like rambling on about it. Like
boring.
Something worth talking about. Okay, so why is this? Why is this that the guy that has talent can't flourish and prosper, and the guy that doesn't can? Why is that? How come I have coaching clients that magically find those motivated sellers who throw houses at them with when they throw the house at them and then they sell it, they get $20,000 down, $1,000 to $1,200 per month cash flow, and $100,000 back in the back end for equity. Why is that? Like, their first month of coaching, they get that.
Yeah.
Then I have other coaching students that go sometime years without never finding that motivated seller.
Yeah.
Why is that? Maybe even, maybe even getting, these ones that have trouble, that don't have the deals just fall in their lap. Maybe even getting partway through a deal, then it blows up, right?
Yeah.
Or crumbles right in front of their eyes. Right?
Yeah.
Why is that? What is this conflict between these dreams and nightmares for most creative real estate entrepreneurs?
Bill, I wish I knew. I wish I knew. And I hope you tell us.
Here's your answer.
Yeah.
And you know this already. I know you're going to say, I knew that.
Because right now I don't have an answer at all. I have no clue what you're going to say.
Here is what Napoleon Hill said in his book, Think and Grow Rich, published the first time in 1937. Did you know that 1937 was connected to him?
Yeah, I did. No, I remember. I tell you once in a while, even on the podcast, you go back. It was 1937, but guess what city?
It's Connecticut, right? It was Hartford?
Meriden.
Oh, Meriden, yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that in the back. You open the book, it says original publishing 1937, Meriden, Connecticut. Like, why of all places? But that's where it is.
I always forget that part because Meriden is like the town that I made all my money in, right? And it's one town over for me, so it's like
we did a deal there 2 years ago. Yeah, we did that. I got family that lives there, and sure.
All right, so I want to be 100% very, very, very clear right now. The podcast stopped being Bill and Pete right now, and I'm going to read Napoleon Hill. This is him. This is not our words. This is not some plagiarism or something like that. This is what he said. It is best to just read it to you because he says it the best.
Let's do it. No, absolutely.
So he starts off with, the majority of people never discover the difference between wishing and believing, nor do they recognize there are 6 steps which people usually follow in using their mind power for the attainment of their desires.
Sorry. I haven't been reading any books lately. I just haven't felt like it. Like, you know what? I'm just tired of all this. I just want to get it done, right? But I think I need to do something like maybe read that one again. That one. I kind of started with that one. So keep reading to me. Thank you.
I'm going to read this over again because I want to make sure it's very well sunk into our listeners' minds.
Yeah, I did that so people at home can think about what you just said and hear it again. So you go ahead.
He says the majority of people never discover the difference between wishing and believing, nor do they recognize there are 6 steps, only 6 steps, which people usually follow in using their mind power for the attainment of their desires. He goes on to explain those 6 steps. which I plan to cover right now.
Okay.
First, the vast majority of people that go through life by merely wishing for things. So what majority? The vast majority of people go through life by merely wishing for things.
Yep.
The percentage of people who stop wishing is estimated at 70%.
That stop wishing?
I'll read it again.
They don't even do it. They don't go to the next good step. They just don't even, they stop wishing even. Oh no.
I'll read it again. The vast majority of people go through life by merely wishing for things. The percentage of people who stop wishing is estimated at 70%.
Oh man, they don't even wish anymore. Oh, no.
So they wish it, and then it pops out of their head and they forget it.
They give up? Yeah. Wow, that's sad.
So I don't know why I'm going to inject this right now, but I feel like it's the thing to say. So to me, your product should be like right now it's football season. It's the big Super Bowl. Okay. Yeah. It's comical to me to sit in a cigar shop with all this testosterone, and there's a lot of girls there too. Girls come there too. Right?
Really?
Yeah, they smoke cigars and drink whiskey. I mean, they're like there with their significant others or whatever, right? These guys fight one another about their team. You get that?
I laugh because people act as if they're on the team. They're just watching, but they're like, my team. Are you on the team?
But these guys are fascinating because you should see as the play is happening. Now you have to realize this is a bit of an unusual situation because Tabucky Jones is there and he played for the Patriots and he played and he was in the NFL for 10 or 11 years and he actually won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And he is the most he has no team, no sides, no team.
Really?
But you have to understand the instantaneousness of the play. I mean, the play's not over and these guys are calling it. And God forbid the ref doesn't do it correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I'm telling you that is because products are this way. And I want to give you a little story, just a little variation here of how much I believe in what I just read. So I don't go on Facebook much. I have multiple names for it. If you're on my email list, which you should be because my email list has been explosive lately. Just with the responses and the things that we're doing and talking about and the things that we're talking about, it's been the best it's ever been. Mm-hmm. So you should be part of that if you're not. You just go to flippinghousesforrookies.com and anything you sign up for, we'll put you on the list. Okay. So I call Facebook I call it Flakebook. I'll call it Two Facebook. You know, there's just all these names because they suck. I mean, they are two-faced. You know, I mean, they like, anyways.
Yep.
So I don't go on there much, but I have to go on there for certain things. I run ads on there. I communicate with my coach on there. So I don't know. Before Thanksgiving, I saw before that, probably around Halloween, I saw this thing called Remarkable. Have you seen it?
Maybe.
It's like an iPad, but it's very thin and it's bigger. It's an 8.5 by 11-inch device. Mm-hmm. What it is paper. It's electronic paper. So it's a pad that has a pen that you write on it like paper. Mm. Now, okay, boo-hoo, waha, what's the big deal? Right? Because my iPad does the same thing. I mean, I've got an iPad that's like supercharged.
Yeah.
But this is not like that. What this is like, so now what happens is you could take your notes and it turns all your notes into electronic. Like suppose I'm having a meeting with you, I can email to you the notes in the meeting. I can save all these in files. There's a cloud, and I can save all these notes and files, which for me is tremendous because, like, if you notice, I mean, the podcast I'm reading is on paper. I handwrite this. I handwrite this thing now. Could I type it? Yeah, but I do better handwriting it. It's more me in it. So that's just my preference. Okay. Here's my point in telling you this. I didn't want to buy it. I went on the site and I'm like, I'll buy this thing. It was like, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. It was hundreds.
$200 or $300.
But then they wanted $100 for the pen.
For the pen.
So they pissed me off, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Well, I misread it. So here it is. So the bottom line, I'm making way too much of a story out of this. Bottom line is this. I couldn't get it off my mind. I gotta have that thing because I have notebooks like for all my coaching groups and my, all my one-on-one interviews. I track everything.
Yeah.
And this device would save all that paper. So I think the clincher was I was looking around and I found a video with Greg Winteregg.
No kidding. Somebody we know. Yeah.
Doing a review and how he uses this tool. So I went and bought it. Here's my problem. The site would not work. Peter, I kid you not, for 1 month I've been trying to buy it. It was $587 for everything.
Oh boy.
And I could not. I even went on Amazon. I went on eBay. I went everywhere trying to find this thing. I couldn't. Finally, 4 days ago, I went on the site on my phone because I kept trying every week. I tried 2 or 3 times a week. I got to buy this thing. Right?
Yeah.
I made a way long story out of this. The reason why is because of this first point Napoleon Hill is making. The vast majority of people go through life by merely wishing for things. The percentage of people who stop wishing is estimated at 70%. Here's what I do. I'll have an idea. I'll come to my desk and in a notebook, I'll draw it, a flow chart, something, whatever. I'll take notes. It's just like mind mapping for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the notebook gets closed, and sometimes I get to it, sometimes I don't.
Sure.
So what my expectation is to have folders, because it's just like a computer. I mean, it's a very simple tool, but it's folders. It allows you to think. Mm-hmm. And that's what my plan is to use that mechanism because I have, me, every 5 minutes I got a new idea.
I know. I hope you slow down in your old age.
Yeah, I don't hope so. No, I'm going to get better because I'm going to get people to do it. We call them the Who, remember? So my point is that I think what happens in this stage, which I made a long drawn out story about this, but there's so much environmental influence on our minds that it's easy for you to get your attention stolen.
Yeah.
Right. And this happens to me, which my success this past year, my success has been to make sure I'm doing what I'm doing and not get interrupted. So when I'm writing, what used to take me a day to write, I can now write in an hour and 90 minutes. It used to take me all day or a day and a half to write. Now I can do it because when I sit down, the solitude in my mind is extraordinary. But most people don't do that. Most people don't appreciate the solitude. Yeah. Right? And they don't understand that the attention units you have are like laser focus. Okay. So I'm totally ranting. I mean, I'm off on a tangent here. So let's get back to because the second one will help even more explain the first one. So we're in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, right? And he says there are 6 steps which people usually follow in using their mind power for the attainment of their desires. And I'm assuming if you're listening to me right now, your desire is to make money with real estate. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the vast majority, he says, first, the vast majority of people go through life by merely wishing for things. The percentage of people who stop wishing is estimated at 70%.
Yep.
Second, a much smaller percentage of people develop their wishes into desires.
Mm-hmm.
These are estimated at 10%. Okay.
Yep.
So let's just do a little bit of word clearing here, right? So what is the definition? I'm going to look it up now.
Yeah, because to wish for something, desire something, people could certainly use that interchangeably, but he's using it at a higher level.
Right.
If you desire something, it's got to be more than wish.
So this is a bad definition because it's using the words that we don't want to use. So let me see here. So it keeps using the word desire. So let me look up desire first. I should have done this before. I didn't think of this.
Mm. I was staring a little bit at Bill on the screen, like, because I'm thinking about it. Because I know people just totally use those interchangeably.
Yeah. So desire is strongly wish for or want something, which is a bad definition. So desire, a better one is want some. Oh, well, we'll talk about that one. Want some sexual.
It's not bad to say strongly wish for something because
that's what it is. A strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen.
Yeah, but it's a strong feeling. So it's more than just, I wish it would happen. That's just, you can just say that with words, wish,
right?
With no intention behind it. Desire has a little bit more oomph to it. Like you really kind of want it a little more. And that's what he's trying to get at. So just take it as that's what he's implying.
So wish is feel or express a strong desire, which is not what I think. Hope or something that is not easily attainable. Want something that cannot or probably will not happen.
Yeah.
That's the point that I'll make. So a wish to me is just there's no emotion attached to it.
Yeah, I think it was not much intention, like push to get something done. He's like, oh, gee, I wish I won the lottery. Like, good. Right. What are you going to do about it? Nah, I don't want to buy a ticket. I waste my money.
So to your point, Peter, here is a little pro tip that I talk to my coaching clients about.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between the two.
Yeah.
It's not a definition. It's just my interpretation of it. So when you have a suspect and a prospect, right now, I could tell you if you go back in our 288 podcast, I've probably defined those words, prospect and suspect, multiple times.
Yeah, and in different ways as we looked at it and how to clarify what's happening in their head, so we understand what they're doing and try to explain it.
But it's a problem.
Mm.
Here's the reason why. Now, we're off on a little bit of a tangent here, but this is the reason why I'm doing this. You have a prospect and a suspect. So let's just say, for the simplest definition, a prospect says yes a majority of the times to what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
A suspect says no a majority of the times of what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a simple definition of a prospect or a suspect.
Yeah, it's practical.
Now here, watch this. Here's what happens to almost all of us when we're on the phone with a prospect or a suspect.
Mm-hmm.
They say yes because they wish that would be true. It's a lofty thought. It's a thought that has not much detail in it of how it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Desire has much more detail to it. Desire is, I'm going to deal with the obstacles.
Right.
Wish is, I'm not even aware of the obstacles, never mind dealing with them.
Right, and they'll say yes until an obstacle comes up. Oh, I don't want to do that.
Right.
Right? No, I don't want to do that.
Exactly. So what I teach my coaching clients is this. You have to test your prospects on this path.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the way you do that is, the way I do that is we talk about trust. Trust is having your words match your actions.
Yep.
Okay. So what I want to do is I want to give my prospect like 2 or 3 things I'm going to do, and then note that they were done. So like, Mr. Prospect, I'm going to send you a memorandum this afternoon, and tomorrow I'm going to write the purchase and sales contract, and then I'm going to have the escrow company give you a call.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then that happens. It automatically builds trust.
Mm-hmm.
But it works the other way around too. So what happens is on the other side, I'll say, but I need you to get your bank statement. I need you to figure out the taxes, and I need to get the name of your insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If he doesn't do them, then right away I'm thinking there's a problem.
Sure.
The point of this example is this. If you find yourself doing a majority of the work and the seller is not doing anything,
mm-hmm.
they're wishing.
Mm-hmm.
If they're doing some of the work or they're trying, then they have a desire.
Mm-hmm.
And even more, when we go down a little bit further, they have a belief it could happen.
Yeah.
So the way you measure this in the real estate business or any business is who's doing all the work.
Mm-hmm.
Because the person that's doing all the work has the desire and has all the things that we're going to talk about here. The person that doesn't is wishing. They're like, yeah, I hope that happens. Yeah, I hope I win the lottery, but you never go buy a ticket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Oh, sure.
So second,
I've experienced it. I know what you mean. Like you call somebody and you talk to them. If you're doing all the phone calls and they never call you once, it's not that good. Right. But if at least they answer all. I've got a guy right now that answers every time and is set, comes back at every setup. I'll talk to you tomorrow night. He does everything. Yeah. So I might be getting close. Yeah. He's agreeable, but it ain't done yet. But at least it's that far. So I'm measuring that one.
He's not saying no.
No, he's not saying no. He takes all my calls. Okay, I'll talk tomorrow at 7. Okay, and he's there. Yeah. Whatever it is, he's always there. And if I send him paperwork, he sends me what he needs. He's not chasing me. It's a deal that has a little bit of time in it, so it's not like tomorrow morning. So, I'm measuring it too. I'm watching.
Right. So the way what Peter's saying here is the way you watch this is who's doing all the work, who's chasing who. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's not even chasing, but who's like driving the deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do this again. So first, the vast majority of people go through life by merely wishing for things. The percentage of people who stop wishing is estimated at 70%. Second, a much smaller percentage of people develop their wishes into desires. These are estimated at 10%. Mm. Third, a still smaller percentage of people develop their wishes and desires into hopes.
Okay.
These are estimated at 8%.
Okay, 8.
Fourth, a still smaller percentage of people step their mind power up to where it becomes belief. Mm. These are estimated at 6%.
Okay.
Fifth, and yet a very much smaller percentage of the people crystallize wishes, desires, and hopes into belief, and then into burning desire. And finally, faith. This percentage is estimated 4%. Sixth, and last, a very small percentage of people take the last 2 steps, putting their faith into action by 1, planning, and 2, acting to carry out their plans. Mm. This percentage is estimated at only 2%.
Yeah, I believe that.
Okay. So I just want to pause for a second before I continue to read. The thing that I have found with all of my coaching clients, what is the difference between the ones that take a deal or take 2 or 3 years to find a deal and ones that find them in 2 or 3 weeks? Mm-hmm. It comes down to your belief. Mm-hmm. So you're having a conversation in your head already.
Yeah.
I wrote this in an email the other day. I wrote this actually a little bit later here, but where your attention goes, Energies flow, results show.
Yeah.
So if you say, them damn bills, the bills. I got to pay the bills. How am I going to get the money for the bills? You'll get more bills.
Mm-hmm.
If you say, I need to make income. I need to get income. I need to get my income up. You'll get more money.
Yeah.
Right? So here's what happens. I want to buy a house by July 4th, 2022, 2025, whatever the year is.
Mm-hmm.
I want to buy a house by 2025. And then immediately your subconscious mind or you say to yourself, I wonder how I'm going to do that. You just canceled each of them out. So I want to buy a house and by July 2022 or 25 or whenever it is. And then you say, I wonder how I'm going to do that. Or I don't have the money.
Right. That's worse.
I don't have the time. You just canceled both of them out so that you don't have that wish that turned into a desire, that turned into hope, that turned into faith.
You already lost a wish if you do that.
You didn't believe in yourself.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how I can't, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so now watch this.
I know that one.
He goes on to say, right, the outstanding leaders in every walk of life are the ones in the sixth group.
Mm.
They recognize the power of their own minds, take possession of that power, and direct it to whatever ends they choose. To these people, the word impossible has no meaning. To them, everything they want or need is possible, and they manage to get it.
Yeah.
The only trait which differentiates them from most of the others who accept failure as their lot. Okay, now lot means someone with a situation in life.
Yeah.
The definition of lot means someone with a situation in life. Okay, so let me read that again. So the only trait which differentiates them from most of the others who accept failure as their lot is that they recognize and use their mind power for attainment of the circumstances and things they want while others do not.
It seems like some people are using their mind power and their intention, their focus, their drive to accomplish the goal. While some people are saying, well, I can't because. Look at the statistics. Look at the MLS. Look at the prices. Look at the graphs. Look at the media. Look at the stop looking at that stuff.
Even worse, they don't have a goal. They think it's fun to figure it out. I have so many coaching clients or pre-coaching clients that end up not signing up because they say to me, oh, well, you give us enough information on the podcast and your emails and some of your free courses that we're going to do it on our own. And when we make our first deal, we're going to use that money to pay you for coaching.
Well, but that doesn't make sense because if they make the first deal, they can make a deal. They don't need you then. They can just keep doing it.
Right. So let me go over this again. I'm going to read all of it again because I want to do it in one fell swoop.
Okay.
So what we're doing right now, and I'm doing this intentionally because I don't need to talk about this, and maybe some of you find this boring. If you find this boring, then this is meant for you.
Yeah, if you find this boring, you are completely missing the point because this particular book, there's a long list of people who've read this and are very successful. It's not just because of this one book, but it's a key book to get your head straight.
Yes. So I'm going to start from the beginning. The majority of people never discover the difference between wishing and believing, nor do they recognize there are 6 steps which people usually follow in using their mind power for the attainment of their desire. First, the vast majority of people, these are the steps. First, the vast majority of people go through life by merely wishing for things. The percentage of people who stop wishing is estimated at 70%. Second, a much smaller percentage of the people developed their wishes into desires. These are estimated at 10%. Third, a still smaller percentage of people develop their wishes and desires into hopes. These are estimated at 8%. Fourth, a still smaller percentage of people step their mind power up to where it becomes belief. These are estimated at 6%. Fifth, and yet a very much smaller percentage of the people crystallize wishes, desires, and hopes into belief, and then into burning desire, and finally faith. This percentage is estimated 4%. Sixth and last, a very small percentage of people take the last two steps, putting their faith into action by 1, planning, and 2, acting to carry out their plans. This percentage is estimated at only 2%. The outstanding leaders in every walk of life are the ones in the 6th group. They recognize the power of their own minds, take possession of that power, and direct it to whatever ends they choose. To these people, the word impossible has no meaning. To them, everything they want or need is possible, and they manage to get it. The only trait which differentiates them from most of the others who accept failure as their lot is that they recognize and use their mind power for the attainment of the circumstances and things they want while others do not.
Well said, Mr. Hawthorne, via Mr. Hawthorne from Mr. What's his name?
Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill. I got to watch the movie.
Yeah.
You ever see it?
I have not.
It's around. It's on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to wonder. But that's amazing. What you just read is amazing, though, because it is the difference between people who succeed and fail. I just saw something today. You talk about Dianetics by Hubbard. I saw a show, and it showed there's a little part of the show about if you want to succeed, to talk about you got to study, you got to learn, and you got to practice. And they had some poor girl trying to be a ballerina, and she just kept falling down and getting up, getting yelled at. The poor kid trying to play guitar, failing, and they just kept going, and then they wind up on stage succeeding. They just kept believing, they just kept doing it, they kept studying, they kept learning, they kept practicing, put it into action, and they succeed. It's a video, but so that happens.
Peter, I have a question for you, and I did this in an email last week. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you or do you not? And this is posing to you because I know what you believe. It's really for our listener right now.
Okay.
So, do we agree that the number of times over something creates certainty?
Yes, that's an educational principle, and it includes
not even that. The number of times you swing a golf club, will that give you certainty?
Oh, yeah. Just that. Yeah. Even beyond I'm not talking just reading. I'm talking about the whole process of learning, including that. Yeah. Repeating the swing. Sure.
So the number of times you play a song creates certainty. The number of times you read something creates certainty.
Yeah.
The number of times you watch a video creates certainty. Why do you think I tell people that if they just go to my free stuff page and download the lease option explain form, which is 5 pages, and they handwrite it 10 times and then listen to it 15 or 20 times, that creates certainty. That right there, if you did just that, you would have enough in real estate to make a deal, to talk to somebody and make a deal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's my question. We agree on that, right? So the number of times over creates certainty.
Hard to argue that one.
Watch this. If you don't have certainty, then what do you need to do? A number of times over. You need to do it more. A number of times over creates certainty.
Yep.
So if you don't have certainty, that means you just need to do it more. Right?
Absolutely.
It's backwards because most people don't think that way.
Mm.
Right?
They think you have to get good at something in order to do it.
Right.
I mean, the first thing I did when I started working with you is I got a hold of some script of some kind. I started calling for sale by owners just to practice.
Yep.
And nobody was doing that back then. I don't think. I didn't know.
That's just before we were using for sale by owners as the main lead.
Yeah, and I was just doing it for practice because I'm a musician. I know you have to practice. But before I hit the stage, before I run a video, I got it down. I'm like, oops, excuse me. And I don't like doing anything other than that level. And it doesn't stop me from doing it. It just makes me do it until I get to that level. And I don't wait to get to that level. I just get going. I think it was Napoleon, not Hill, Napoleon that said something like, don't wait for something to happen. Just take wherever you are, whatever you got or don't got, just take your first step and start the F walking.
Right.
Start moving forward. Well, someday. It is tomorrow never. What does Hemingway say? Tomorrow never comes. I'll do it tomorrow. Then tomorrow's tomorrow. And tomorrow's tomorrow.
It's like your horizon, right?
Oh, yeah, the horizon story.
Yeah.
Where is it? It's right over there. No, wait, it's right.
Keep moving. All right,
Damn,
good.
horizon.
So that was a good story. So here is my point on what you just said. I want to clarify something because you said back then we didn't call FSBOs.
Mm-hmm.
Now we do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Realize back then it was a buyer's market, not a seller's market.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a seller's market, not a buyer's market. And what that simply means is that when it's a buyer's market, that means that it takes the seller longer to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like one buyer for 20 houses.
Yeah.
When it's a seller's market, there's one house with 20 sellers.
Yeah, so it's good for the seller, really good for the seller.
Because if they don't like what you have to say, kind of like they say, my wife keeps saying, what does this cancel culture mean? Right. And I told her, and I don't know why she has this trouble with it. I think she has trouble with it because it's not normal.
It's so foreign to nice people like us.
Yeah. So the cancel culture pretty much means that you're not delivering value to somebody or what they consider valuable. So they just shut you off. They cut your communication and they don't even want to be bothered with you.
No, wait a minute. Excuse me. It's worse than that. They don't want anybody to hear you, not just them. They don't want anybody else to hear you either. That's what bothers me. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to listen, just stop. It's fine. That's called, freedom of speech and all that, human rights.
But then they cut all the communication of everybody else.
Everybody else, like no one else should listen. We're protecting you from this guy because we decide he's wrong. You can't decide for yourself. That's the part that's bad. You can't know. Right. We know better for you.
Right. All right, so now let's tie this into podcast number 288, which is the last one we did, which is why most real estate entrepreneurs aren't happy, right? Because this is a series of 4 or 5 podcasts, and today is kind of like the end of the series, right? Since beginning of January. So, in podcast number 288, I spoke about starting with gratitude. I ended the podcast with that. Remember, I was talking about gratitude.
It was very good. I used it last week. It was very good.
Nice. Gratitude muscles open up your heart, mind, passion, and faith for possibilities. Gratitude take over. Now watch this. Gratitude takes our focus off our don't haves and gets us excited about our do haves, ever so gently nudging us into the world of abundance thinking. I wrote an email on January 31st, 2022 that had the subject column line of, "You ready to get with my freedom convoy?" And in that email I wrote, and it's a Billism, where attention goes, energies flow, results show. I just said that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sold 1,000% on what you see in your mind? Are you emotionally invested in that? Are you 1,000% convinced of its value to you and others?
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting results caused Are you getting results because of this type of thinking? I did it in slang. That's why I'm having trouble. Are you getting results because of this type of thinking?
Oh.
That's how I wrote it in email. Slang.
Yeah, that could look like cause, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you put an apostrophe at the front of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So are you getting results because of this type of thinking?
Yeah.
Is your demandingness enough to remove obstacles? Lastly, is this the greatest good for the greatest number involved?
Did you add that one in? That's not Napoleon Hill, is it?
No, none of that's Napoleon.
That's all you. Yeah, so that last part, I know that sounds more like you. Okay.
So a billism, where attention goes, energies flow, results show. I'll read them again. Are you sold 1,000% on what you see in your own mind? Are you emotionally invested in that movie or whatever it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yourself, are you emotionally invested? Are you 1,000% convinced of its value to you or others? Are you getting results because of this type of thinking? Is your demandingness enough to remove obstacles? The obstacles. Lastly, is this the greatest good for the greatest number involved? Do you feel like you are not or feel worthless, even unhappy because of the real estate between your ears, called those mental image pictures that you don't believe in? You see them, but you don't believe them. Mm-hmm. You don't have faith. You don't have the 6 steps like Napoleon Hill just spoke about.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy thought. What if you plunged into something like my coaching group? This is not an advertisement, although I would like it to be, but this is not an advertisement, just a concept.
Yeah.
What if you plunged into something like my coaching group? Perhaps this would happen. You would be emotionally invested because you paid the money.
Mm-hmm.
You would value yourself in what you believe in, probably a lot more because you paid the money.
Mm-hmm.
Your results would suddenly appear from practically nowhere because you paid the money. You would satisfy your demandingness to change because now you put your hard-earned dough on the line and you have to get a result. So your demandingness would change you.
Yeah.
You would get more out of life because you would overcome those obstacles because after all, you paid the money. See?
That's right.
And oh yeah, by the way, that's the definition of happiness, overcoming those obstacles. Isn't that what you want anyways? So if you're a do-it-yourselfer and you feel like you're overcoming obstacles, I dare to ask you, are they the obstacles you need to overcome to be able to get a profit check? Because you could do it, you could get a profit check. And I will tell you, Peter, because we have lots of students and you and I work together all the time. I've got students that have been in my program 2 or 3 years and haven't done a deal. And we talk about it.
Yeah,
and I work with them.
I know.
It's them. It's not me. Because then I get a student that comes in there and a month later they got a deal.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Average is 3 or 4 months, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to say 4 to 5, but it's 3 or 4 months is the average person that gets a deal in a coaching group.
Mm-hmm.
Or my coaching group, right? But think of it this way. If you're too long of a runway, I just did a survey and I was floored, like somebody shot me and I fell on my back.
Really?
In the forehead, you know, like a movie, you know, like one of those comedies.
Yeah, the little round hole and nothing comes out. It's just,
and I just went down like a tree.
What
Boom.
the hell? What came up?
I asked, how long have you been doing real estate?
Oh yeah.
And the average answer is 10 years.
Well, no,
Average-
without a reason, but you mean without a result?
No. Yeah. Well, then down the later, have you done a deal? And they're like, no.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So 10 years not getting anywhere. Wow.
I've been thinking about this since 2008. I've been thinking about this most of my life.
I don't believe. I don't get how somebody. Wait a minute. How could somebody actually? Well, I don't think you could work at it for 10 years and not get a deal. So I don't know what they're doing. They're like thinking about working at it, or going in circles. Like, what the hell?
Back up.
Well, that makes me. Hey, Bill, that makes me feel better.
Beep. Back it up.
What?
First, the vast majority of people go through life by merely wishing for things. That's all it is a wish.
No, but I'm surprised.
Years.
No, I get it, but I'm surprised.
Years.
But I'm surprised they're not the 70% that gave up after 10 years. Within the 10 years, I mean, why are they still hanging around? Don't they have anything else to do? Like, go do something that.
I'll tell you the reason why. The reason why is
why they keep going.
They don't believe in themselves.
Oh, I can get that. I don't know. I get like why are they still here then? Why don't you go get a job at the Dairy Mart and at least make some money? I'm sorry. I'm serious. Go find something. Go clean houses. Find something you can do.
Do you believe in yourself well enough that you would get committed to, my coaching group or any other? I'm not here to like sell my coaching group. I mean, obviously, I know it works. I have confidence. I've helped a lot of people. My emails are now signed Bill, the real estate millionaire maker.
Yeah.
Because I've done that and I plan to do more of that. So I have no problem with what I'm doing. I mean, Peter, in final, I changed my coaching group after I had COVID.
Yeah.
Which was in October of last year. I almost died from COVID.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I got it. I don't want sympathy. I got through my shit. I bootstrapped, meaning I used my own resources, and I got better.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally, physically, all of it. It's probably one of the better things that have happened to me in my life.
A little wake-up call?
Yeah. So I decided I need to ramp this puppy up. So we use REI Reply, which is a software that costs $50. I have no association with them at all. They don't even know. I mean, they know of me because support tickets keep coming in and say, well, Bill said this and Bill said that. So they know me from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Right? Because all my coaching clients call them if they need help. Right. I get no affiliate commission, nothing. They don't even know I'm selling their shit. But it works. We have a group. And the coaching group has their own REI Reply account. I pay for it. Mm-hmm. I pay for all the leads. I pay for everything.
Yep.
You come into the group and you learn how to be a texter. You learn how to be an opening caller. You learn how to be a closing caller, and you learn how to do a deal meeting.
Yep.
And each week we take turns of who's doing which job. And by the way, we're doing real deals. We're in Cleveland, Ohio. We're doing real deals. We just closed. We're in the middle of closing a deal right now. And I went through and I show everything. Everything is 100% transparent. I either video it or I do it live on the call. We wrote a memorandum the other night.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a video of how to do it, which I think, I'm being arrogant, but I think was pretty clever how I did it.
Yeah.
I wrote the memorandum and I went on to Loom, LOOM.com. And I made a 12-minute video explaining the offer in the document. And when I sent it to the seller, he got the video and the document.
Mm-hmm.
I sent it at 5 o'clock at night, and by 10 o'clock the next morning, it was signed and done. And he told me he needed to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And I told him in the email, if you're going to talk to somebody, make sure they watch this video. Because he can't sell it to them the way I did. And I don't even mean sell it. He can't explain it and tell them what's going to do the way I did it.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you why I got that deal. Because when I talked to him and in the video, I had confidence. This is how it works. Bing, bang. This is what's going to happen. And then that's going to happen. And this is going to happen. Right?
Yep.
That is not my experience. That's my belief. I'm going to make it work. No matter what, it's going to happen. There is no impossible in this deal. He said yes, 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 yes. And I'm going to say, okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make it work. And when you get in that category with your deals, you start to get everything I'm talking about. And if you've not gotten up to that point with your deals, everything we're talking about is just entertainment for you right now. Right? Until it gets real. I can't tell you how many times I have covered things on coaching calls and podcasts and special trainings and all kinds of things. I'll cover something for an hour in coaching. And then the following week, somebody will say, how do you do that? The difference is, what is it saying? The student shall show up. The teacher will show up when the student's ready.
Yeah. Because
the week before it didn't mean anything. Now all of a sudden this week they have a deal and they need to do it. So now they want to get all the nitty gritty. They want to get they're ready to listen to all the details.
And now they need it.
It's
not just want, want, want.
So my point is exactly right. Want. So my point is until you get out there and talk to a seller, which, by the way, I have a reluctance buyer kit that teaches you how to talk to sellers without committing to them, without buying a house, and just practicing talking to a seller, right? Which is the most valuable training you can do.
Yeah.
You should pay me $100,000 to do that. I mean, these guys, Ron LeGrand and Dan Merrill and Kiyosaki and Dean Graziano, they all charge $30,000, $50,000, $75,000 for coaching. And I'm going to tell you that this one thing that I think is a couple $100 with me will teach you more than any one of those guys will teach.
Yeah.
That one thing, that one thing, because you'll have to go confront the seller. And once you understand that seller, everything I'm talking about will make sense.
Yeah.
Just talking to that seller.
But you know what you just said is struck me. You said, because you believe in yourself. And I first thought, well, sure, after all your experience, but it can't be that way. It can't be that you need a ton of experience to believe in yourself. It can't be. You have to start that way. And I'll tell you, folks, and Bill, we can all think of people that are 8 years old and on stage singing like a champ. I've seen a 10-year-old in front of a crowd at a seminar leading the audience like, holy crap, who's that like 9-10-year-old kid? Yeah. And I've seen 50, 60, 7-year-old people that are still stuttering and mumbling like morons. No offense, because they just never believe. It's not like you're going to get better with time and age and experience. You can get worse, you can get better. Or how about just start off like, God damn it, I believe in myself, and just muster up the balls and just get in there and do it.
It's not even that. And I'm going to finish the podcast with this because we're over by 2 minutes. We're over time here. So here's the deal. The reason why I bring that up, and I'd like to clarify. It's not my experience that I believe in. Every deal I start over from scratch as if it was my first deal. Here's what I believe in. What I believe in is that this deal will be beneficial to him and me. It has benefit and value to him and benefit and value to me. The way I see this is as if you were to go into a bar. And there's those tables, those round tables where you stand up around those round tables. They're like 2 feet wide and 5 people stand around that table.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm talking about? The tables are like 4 feet tall.
Yeah. Bar tables.
They're bar tables, right?
Bar tables. Yeah.
So I picture one of those tables in a room all by itself. Nothing else but that table in the middle of the room. Everybody needs to come to that closing table to get what they want. Otherwise, they won't get it. That's my envision.
Yeah.
My vision in my head. So that means the buyer, the banker, the closing agent, the insurance guy, the title, everybody's got it. The buyer, the seller, everybody's got to come to that table. You can't put a gun to their head and bring them come to the table. They have to come there on their own volition. They have to be there on their own determinism. That means I've done my job to get them there. That, in other words, they're coming there to get their value, their portion of the closing that they want or need.
So your belief comes from knowing that you're going to do that.
I've done that.
Yeah, and you know you can. Yeah.
No, I can. It doesn't matter if I've done it once or 100 times. I know that I have created that effect in the closing that seller is going to come to the closing and get what they want. I believe in that wholeheartedly.
Right.
So when I do that video and my certainty comes from, this is the best deal you could do. It benefits you. It benefits your family. It benefits your tenant. It benefits me. It benefits my buyer. It benefits the closing agent. It benefits everybody. And that's my belief, because I know how to do that. And you don't have to be me to know how to do that. You just got to know people.
Yeah, and listen. That's
Very
good.
good. Don't forget to subscribe to us wherever you're watching us or listening to us. Don't forget to leave a testimonial on our page, if you would, flippinghousesforrookies.com, or just wherever you're listening to us, watching us, just go there and leave a review. We really appreciate that. Thanks for your time today. Sorry we went over 5 minutes yet again, and we'll see you or talk to you, or you'll hear us the next podcast. Have a good week. Over and out.
Thanks for tuning in to the hottest real estate topics on the planet with Bill and Pete. If you want to continue learning how to buy and sell real estate without money or credit, head over to flippinghouses.club for some cutting-edge real estate wealth tools. Or contact us at info@flippinghouses.club.